Hi, welcome back to It's Miracle Beauty. My name is Brandy and I am on a journey of using what I have versus buying new. So my channel predominantly is empties with mini reviews, pan challenges, and yearly summaries, inventories, things like that. So if you're into using what you have and not purchasing as much new, then this is a great place for you. So today I'm doing my top 3 palettes used the entire year and my top foundations used the entire year. I've never done this before. I every single day recorded what foundation I used and what eyeshadow palette I used. And honestly, if you had asked me what I use the most, some of these, yes, I would definitely have agreed. Other ones I would not have at all. So I'm going to do foundation first, and then we'll do eyeshadow second. So on both of these, there's a tie for third place, the exact same number. So tied for number 3 is the Makeup for a Reboot. This is a brand new bottle. I finished my other bottle and the Pat McGrath. I knew I used this one a lot because I panned the entire thing, and it was like half or low or higher when I started painting it, but this one I never thought would be that much. I don't care for this foundation. I don't like this foundation, and it's very drying. If you told me it was going to come into third place, even tied, I would have never believed it. So this is now decluttered. I just filmed my declutter video, so this is going in the trash now. This one I adore. That's why I repurchased it. I did wait for a sale and then repurchased it immediately. So number 2, I'm not shocked at all, is my Makeup Forever HD stick. This one is not got much left at all. It is long since expired. Not sure if that is it. Not sure if I'm going to finish it or what. I normally am, R230 is perfect for my skin tone. This is a little bit light on me, but we'll see. I haven't made a decision on that one yet. The number 1 foundation was not shocking to me at all. It literally is one I went, it's either this one or this one, and it was actually the Reboot or the Good Apple. So I put a huge pan in this year, been panning it the whole year, and I'm actually going to continue panning it. When I first got this, I love this, and then I had it mess up and not work well on my skin a couple times, and I was like, you know what, I'm getting rid of that. I don't like it. Well, when I started doing my pan last year, I put this in, and I did a ton on this. So I'm not shocked at all. That is my number 1 used foundation. It is not my number 1 loved foundation. It's because I'm panning it, and I'm okay with that. It's getting used. It's not getting wasted. So the number 3 tie for the palettes I use this year is between, oop, I almost picked up the wrong palette. It's between Sultry and Cosmos, which are both ABH palettes. This actually was my Pan That palette, and I never would have guessed I used it enough for it to be in number 3, even a tie either, because I hated it, and I kept procrastinating on using it, and then I'd use it and I'd hate it. But I obviously made a good, go of it because I used it. I think I took it out in February. So in January and February, I used it that much for it to be in the number 3 spot. Now, palettes are a little bit less variance or a little bit more variance. The foundations, there was far less on the list. There was way more palettes because sometimes you use a palette once and never use it again. Use a palette once and never use it again. But this one was number 3, so it still says a lot. I am decluttering it. It's years, I think 4 years old, and I don't like it. So that's going. The other one I did was a newer one. It is called the Cosmos palette. I love this palette. I really enjoy this palette. It is one I grab really, really often. It actually reminds me of another one in this list. So I grab it relatively frequently. I enjoy it. It's a good palette. Number 2 did surprise me, even though I panned this. I think I panned this for 4, 5, 6 months, something like that. I don't remember. I could look, but my book's not in here. I keep a book of my list of what I'm panning, and every month I have a list so that way I can look back and be like, oh, I've been panning this 9 months, but I think at least 6, probably more. And this is the Kaleidos Escape Pod. I love this palette. It works really well. I never used it. I bought it, had touched a couple shimmers, and that was about it. And when I started using it, it's just a really easy, dependable palette that looks beautiful. And these shimmers, metallic is probably a better term, but either way, they are beautiful and they work well. And I was shocked, not shocked, because I knew I had panned it a long time, but I didn't realize I had used just that palette that many times. And the number 1 was zero shock to me, much like the Good Apple. I know I use this a lot. I reach for it even after it was out of my pan because I love this palette. I actually own another one. So this palette is the Carly Bible palette by ABH, and this list makes me look like the biggest ABH stan. And I do like their stuff, but not like that. This is the Carly Bible palette. It was out quite a few years ago, and I do have 1, 2, 3, 4 pans and 2 almost pans in this now. I have a brand new one actually waiting. I bought a brand new one because I love this palette that much. So I am going to declutter this one. That way I can start the new one and call it a day. My number 1 palette this year was the Carly Bible palette, number 1 times used, and my number 1 foundation was Good Apple. What were yours? Did you keep track?